All right, what's up everyone? Greg here, Project Unbroken. So if you're new to our channel, I've been off heroin a little over 8 years, methadone a little over 6 years, and Matt and I like to share our experiences with how we got off the heroin, got off the methadone, the Suboxone, and started rebuilding our lives. You know, built businesses, rebuilt our health, rebuilt relationships, just sharing our path. So we don't know everything, but we try to share what we know works through experience. So today I'm going to be talking about schedule. Two different things for schedule, completely different. One is how you need to take drugs or alcohol off your schedule. Sounds a little weird, but I'll explain what that means. The other is keeping a schedule with positive things. So putting positive things on your schedule and then sticking to it. So we're big into working out, right? We're big into working out because it's good for your mind, your body, your confidence. We think it's great for you. It doesn't have to be that, but I'm going to use that as an example because it's something that's on my schedule 5 days a week. I work out 5 days a week no matter what. Okay, I'm actually in the middle of one now. I figured I'd shoot a video on this because I think it could be very helpful. One of the biggest reasons for my success for business and health is having a schedule and sticking to the schedule. So 5 days a week I work out. It doesn't matter if I have to get up at 3 a.m. It doesn't matter if I have to work out at 11 o'clock at night. If it's a workout day, I work out. Even if I have to do it from home, I'll do it from home. All right? Most people don't understand this concept, and I didn't before. That's why I was a complete failure. I did drugs every day. I was completely broke. No idea who I was. Part of that was I didn't have a schedule. Well, I did, but the only thing on it was negative things like drugs. And that was my schedule all day. Drugs, negative. Now it's a complete opposite. All positive things on my schedule. Okay? If you don't have a schedule, the problem is you start falling off. You start giving yourself leeway. You start rewarding yourself. Well, I went 5 days last week. I can take a day off. The problem is eventually that turns into not going at all. You go from 5 days a week to 4 to 3. That quickly goes to 2 to 1 to 2 years later. It's like I haven't worked out in a couple years. I'm busy. I got a family now. I just can't find the time. There's always time. You can work out at home. You know, and I made those excuses over and over again. And that's why I was a failure. Okay? And that's one of the biggest lessons I learned with success is having a schedule and keeping it. You know, a couple months ago, I was in Los Angeles. And I live on the East Coast, so it's a long travel day, right? And my travel day back was a workout day. So I got into Philly, 10 o'clock at night, drove straight to the gym, worked out from 11 to midnight, then went home, right? I kept the schedule. Didn't give myself leeway. Because if I give myself leeway, I start falling off, and I'm not doing that. Okay? Same thing with work. I get up in the morning, take the kids to the bus stop, go to Starbucks and work a couple hours. I go home so my wife can go to the gym, spend some time with my newborn, then I go to the gym and I get back to work. Pick up the kids, family time. I keep to the schedule. And even though I work for myself, I don't have to go to work. I got to push myself to work. That's why I got to keep in a schedule, okay? So on the opposite end of that, you can't have drugs or alcohol on your schedule. It sounds a little weird, but let me explain. So I got a good friend who I've been friends with for about 6 years now. We work online, right? She's a little older. She's been an alcoholic for about 30 or 40 years now. And over that 30 or 40 years, she's had stints of sobriety. And I mean like a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month. Not very often, okay? I think she said since 2012, before this last time, she had like 40 days total of sobriety over the last like 6 years. I don't know, something like that. So she knew about Project Unbroken, so we always go back and forth. So she went through a couple stints again over the last few years and, you know, got a week, got 2 weeks. This time, in her email, I noticed something, okay? And the bottom line was she was leaving alcohol on her schedule. It may not have been penciled in for a certain day, but it was still like in the bottom corner, like where it was a possibility. So I said, all right, look, I said, just try one thing. You know, this is what really worked for me really well, and I know it worked for Matt as well. Again, we share things that work for us. We don't talk about things that we don't know about, right? We just know this works from experience. So I said, instead of, and she kind of said like in her email, it's kind of like, let me see how long I can go, right? It wasn't those exact words, but it was kind of like along those lines, like, let me see how long I can go this time. I'm gonna try it again. Let's see how long I can go. And the problem with that is you're still kind of leaving it on your schedule, right? So what I said to her, I said, let's just try to make one change. I said, let's not see how long you can go. Just take it off your schedule, like be done with it, right? Like that is it, it's over, I'm not doing this anymore. Look at it from that perspective this time and see what changes, all right? Let's see if it makes a change. She's now 85 days clean off alcohol. She doesn't drink in 85 days, and she feels great. That was the only adjustment we made. Well, the major adjustment. She's also eating better and trying to work out and all that. But the major change mentally she made was the perspective of how she thought about it. It wasn't, let's see how long I can last, which leaves it as an option, even if it's in the back of your mind. It was, this is it, I'm done, it's over, it's time to move forward. Okay, and she is now 85 days clean, maybe 86, I don't want to take a day away from her. Longest she's gone in over 20 years, all right? So, it's big. The way you think about things, the way you approach it, it's huge. And for Matt and I, it's one of the biggest reasons we are sober today. 12-step, they go to a lot of meetings and stuff. We both tried that, and it wasn't for us because of that perspective. If that works for you, great. We're just trying to give you a different perspective. Our perspective is we want that back here. We want to go this way. All right? For us, meetings and all that, the problem is you're around people who use or used to use. You're constantly talking about drugs. You're constantly hearing stories about drugs. You're constantly around drug talk. I don't want to be around drug talk. I don't want to be around people who use drugs or use drugs. I want to be that way, not that way. Even if I'm not that way, I don't want to talk about that way. I just want to keep moving that way. I want to know back here. I want to know that way still there. I still want to know, and remember it. But I don't want to constantly talk about it. I don't want to constantly be around people talking about that. I just want to be done with it, okay? And that's the mindset of, I'm done with this. It's off my schedule. It's through. It's not an option. All right, so it was a big thing for my friend who now has gone the longest she's ever gone, and she's like, I don't even really think about it at this point. Well, part of that is because it's off her schedule. It's not an option. So many times before I made that mindset shift, I would say, I'm going to quit this time and, or let's see how long I can go. And I get to my, maybe I did 7 days and I get to 8 days. I'm like, ooh, time to celebrate. I made 8 days. Accomplishment. There's no accomplishment, right? There's no accomplishment when it comes to how long. The accomplishment is not using anymore. That you go that way. For me, at least. It's not talking about that. It's not being about that. It's not being around people about that. It's moving that way. All right, so hopefully this helps you with schedule. Again, one of the biggest reasons for my success with business and health, and of course getting off drugs, was leaving the drugs and alcohol off my schedule, putting positive things on my schedule, and sticking to it. If you're just coming out of addiction, I understand that it's hard. You don't want to go to the gym, but those are the days that count. Trust me, I don't want to go to the gym every day. The days I have to get up early to go, I don't want to do that, but you have to do it, okay? And unfortunately, when you're coming out of addiction, there's going to be more of those days than there is for me, but I went through it too. When I was coming off methadone, I would sleep 20 minutes a night. I would get up at 4:30. I would go to the gym at 5, and that was the last fucking thing I felt like doing. But it was on my schedule, and I stuck to it. And I kept doing that since I got off methadone, and guess what? I've improved leaps and bounds because I stick to it. Even the days I don't feel like it, I don't care if my knee hurts, I don't care if my back hurts. I go in and do what I can. Stop making excuses. I made those excuses for so long, and that's why I was in the hole. I didn't want to crawl out of the hole. I didn't want to do the work to crawl out of the hole. I wanted a crane to come down and lift me out of the hole. That's not how it works. You got to crawl yourself out. All right? But the cool thing is, the further you crawl, the easier it gets. There's going to be days when it sucks, it's not fun, but you got to keep moving. All right? So hopefully this helps you. Schedule. Positive things on the schedule, keep to them, take the negative shit off, and you'll find yourself in a much better place moving forward.